I want to talk about consistency and why consistency will not help you in your life. If you succeed in your business, in relationships, in school and work, it's not going to be because you are consistent. And on that note, furthermore, I don't think consistency actually helps you at all. And I want to kind of coin this the consistency fallacy. Maybe sounds cringe. Let's get into it. So, yesterday, I was scrolling on TikTok and I saw someone say, hey, this is day 103 of day trading. As long as I stay consistent on this journey and I just keep going, I know I'm going to make it at some point. And immediately I thought, well, no, not necessarily, right? Like if you're trading and you're doing something unprofitable, of course, you're not just going to make it at some point. So I was like, okay, whatever. And then this morning, I just saw a video on YouTube of someone talking about their experience scrolling on Tinder or swiping on Tinder, and it was like a below average looking man of, I would say probably like a 3 out of 10, right? Maybe a 4 out of 10. And he was saying, I've been on Tinder for like a year and a half now, and I've had little success, but I know if I just stay consistent and I keep swiping, that one day I'm gonna find someone that's like a good match for me. And I don't think that's true. And the reason I don't think it's true is because in life, people think if I just do this enough, it'll work out, right? So let me give an example. People think if I just apply to enough jobs like this, I'll get the job, I'll get a position finally. But think about it. If you have a resume that's subpar, right? You're not qualified for the position. What percentage of roles are going to have 0 applicants with decent qualifications? I think you get what I'm saying. Like if you're looking to be, I don't know, a lawyer and you're not qualified and you think, well, if I just apply to enough positions, surely one of them will hire me, right? Just because I'll apply to 100 or 200. But what you don't understand is that will never happen because you're not qualified. And I guarantee that every single one of those positions will have someone that's qualified and they will be hired. Let me give another example, right? So you're trying to start a business. Let's say you're doing e-commerce and you think, well, let me just launch another product. Let me start another business. You know, if I try just enough businesses, one of these will work. No, why would it? People buy things that they find are valuable and worth it. So if you just launch a business after another business after another business and none of them create value or seem worth it to people, not one of those is just gonna work, right? Because people are separating themselves from reality. They think, oh, if I just do this enough, eventually it'll work. But why would it? Things work not because you've done them enough, but because they're actually valuable or done well. Let's say you're trying to cold call people for sales. Hey, my name is John. Would you like to buy? Hangs up. Hello. Hangs up, right? You call like 50 people, none of them are interested, and you're like, oh, well, it's okay, it's my first day, let me just keep calling. If I'm consistent, I'll get a sale. No, you won't. If you get a sale, it'll be because you got better at calling and your pitch, not because you were consistent. Right? So maybe your response right now is, well, oh, you should be consistent because it'll make you better at the thing, right? But it won't. I don't think it will. It might, but it won't because you're consistent, right? I should say that better. If you get better, it won't be because you are consistent. It was because you are improving. So let's say like you're just playing a video game. There's some people on video games that have 10,000 hours versus someone that has 1,000 hours. But oftentimes I see people with 1,000 hours are better than people at 10,000 hours. Why is that? So the reason I believe that is because some people fall into the pit of just being consistent and just trying to keep doing something. They get kind of into this like churn mentality, like just keep churning it out, right? So they're like, let's say you're playing Valorant 5v5, like ranked mode game. You may know it, doesn't matter. You join a game, you lose, you win some, and you're like, okay, I'm not that good. What if I just keep playing every day? So you play like 5 hours every day, and you're like, okay, got my 5 hours this day, next day, 5 hours. It doesn't mean you're going to get better just because you're playing. All right, someone could play 1 hour a day, but they're super focused, and they're always thinking about what can I do differently, or maybe they're better at learning the game than you are, just by genetics or happenstance. They're going to get better faster. So don't fall into the pit of let me just keep doing this. Right? Whatever you're doing, if you're trying to start a business and you're like, let me just email one more person, or let me just do this again, or let me create another website, or let me launch another product. It's not just going to work at some point just because you keep doing it. If it works, it's because you learn to do it right. So I think I'm repeating myself at this point, but there's this rule called the 80-20 rule that I think a lot of people know about, where 20% of your input results in 80% of the output, right? So 20% of your effort results in 80% of the output is one example, and it's you can find it in so many places in life. So I think what I'm saying and this rule go hand in hand, that people think if I just keep doing it, it'll work. But the reason it won't work is because of the 20-80 rule, that there's this threshold of that you need to be in the top 20% of things for it to be worth it. So let's say products. If you launch a product and it's in this bottom 80%, you're only going to get 20% of the revenue likely, right? But if you keep launching products that are in this bottom 80%, like 50th percentile, 70th, so on, you're never really going to get substantial sales. Let's say you're on Tinder and you're swiping and you're in this bottom 80% of looks and overall attractiveness with the combination of your personality and looks and whatever you have on your profile. You're never going to just somehow find someone in that top 20%, right? You need to be in the top 20% of attractiveness on the app. So you need to change what you're doing, or else you're not going to find yourself performing better or having more luck. You're not going to go on a bunch of dates and they're all going to go the same and you're always awkward, and suddenly you're just going to find your perfect match and they're really going to be into you. And like, I'm not trying to say like I'm better, like I'm just some dude in my room with like no friends, right? Like I'm just ranting to camera to a video no one's going to see, because this isn't in the top 20% of videos. This is probably bottom 80%, so no one's going to watch it, right? There's no editing. I didn't think about it, right? So if you click out of this video and you see it has 10 views, we both know why. And I could post another video like this tomorrow and it's not going to do better. And the simple reason is I'm being consistent on YouTube, but I'm not doing it well. So that's a perfect example. So that's my rant for the day. So if I ever want this channel to grow, I should do the videos better. If you want to succeed, you should do what you do better. And that is why you will never make it in whatever you're doing that you're being consistent in. And that is the consistency fallacy.